Bizarre Brain Comics. Oh, hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, this is one I've been wanting to do for a long time. I was kind of hoping I would find more issues of this to do a fuller examination, but we'll go with what we've got. And that is, take a look at Forbidden Planet, #1 from Innovation, 1992. And of course, for those who may not know, first off, this was written by David Campiti with art by Derek Gross. Okay, for those who don't know, Forbidden Planet is a 1956 science fiction adventure movie from MGM, produced by Nicholas Nayfock, directed by Fred Wilcox, and written by Alan Adley, Irving Block, and Cyril Hume. And it was apparently inspired by Shakespeare's The Tempest. It starred Walter Pidgeon, Leslie Nielsen, and Anne Francis, and it was one of the few mature and serious science fiction, I spelled that wrong, science fiction movies of the 1950s. One of the most memorable aspects was the introduction of Robbie the Robot, who is even today an iconic robot character. The film was the first to depict a human-made spacecraft traveling at faster than light speed and set on a planet in another solar system. It sported groundbreaking visual special effects and an entirely electronic score utilizing primarily a theremin. I guess it also had a keyboard, but most of it was with the theremin, and that's where they got a lot of the sound effects too. So, and if you have never seen it, why not? It is a classic. It foreshadowed Star Trek. There were many little elements that was later picked up in Star Trek. And of course, Robbie is the iconic robot. He is the thing that is most closely identified with Forbidden Planet. And of course, Robbie was then utilized again in many other movies and TV shows. The Invisible Boy that I know of, I think he was in at least one episode of The Twilight Zone, I'm not positive. 2 or 3 episodes of Lost in Space. There's at least one episode of Columbo, and once on Wonder Woman, and a whole host of other movies and TV shows. And he is often sometimes mistaken for the robot B9. I knew I was going to make that mistake. Robot B9 from Lost in Space. And of course, they are not the same robot, although he did appear in Lost in Space. And from what I understand, they shared a designer. So their robotic god was the same. And they went head to head a number of times. But Robbie is so iconic. And I love Robbie. And of course, the two of these robots were probably the most identifiable robotic characters up until Star Wars. After that, C-3PO and R2-D2. And everybody loves R2. Okay. This, because as I said, this starred Anne Francis. There was one of our local conventions almost 20 years ago. They had a special deal for the 50th anniversary of Forbidden Planet, and Anne Francis was a guest. That was, of course, long before she passed away. And we got to meet her, not at the convention, but at a TV station. In promotion for the convention, the TV station for their morning show wanted Klingons. Well, we had Klingons to spare, so we got up. We went there early. We were there. We made appearances on TV, singing and speaking in Klingon, and while there was a makeup artist there, and they took one of their hosts and turned him into a Klingon, but they didn't tell us they were going to do that, and they didn't have an extra Klingon uniform, which we had plenty of. So this, for the second time, I sacrificed my uniform so that TV host could wear my uniform. And he was a skinny fellow, so he just swam in it. And because no one else would sacrifice their uniform to have someone else wear it. But that's twice I sacrificed my uniform for someone else to wear. First time was Apollo, Battlestar Galactica. I'm drawing a blank on his name all of a sudden. You know who I'm talking about. And so we could play laser tag. Anyway, I was getting to say, Anne Francis. We met her backstage there. She was such a nice lady. She such a sweet lady, and a lovely lady. Of course, if I remember correctly, she said she was about 18 when she was cast for this role, or played it. She might have been 17 when she was cast, so that was very short dresses were very risque in the 50s, and she was very young, and but of course then she was also later on at least one episode of Twilight Zone, various other programs, had her own TV show Honey West, and so she was a nice lady, and we met her. But also there, I just want to put this in, was Ronald McDonald. Yeah, Ronald McDonald, and we got to talk with him, and the clown, and we learned something, that this is has nothing to do with Forbidden Planet, but I guess that there have been several Ronalds McDonald over the years, but there was only one official Ronald McDonald at any one time, and that's who made all the commercials and made all the personal appearances, etc. So that was just something else. And then, of course, Anne Francis. She was just a lovely, sweet, lovely lady, and she will be missed. Okay, now we want to take a look at Forbidden Planet. Okay, and of course I said this is Innovation Comics, which is totally defunct now. And this great cover painting, right? Well, the entire thing is painted, and it was a series, I believe, of 4 issues. Might have been 5, but I think it was 4. And this is the only issue I've got. I've never had any of the others that I know of. And there was and this artist did painted the entire run. I don't know if this has ever been reprinted in trade paperback form. So if anybody out there knows, let me know. Okay, now we're going to take a look at it. There are some little problems with your artwork, mostly in the resemblance in the faces. That's minor. That's very, very minor, because overall it's a wonderful job of painting here. And this artist has a lot of double page spreads showing the alien in the backgrounds, showing the alien landscape, and he said he really enjoyed doing that stuff. So here we are, Forbidden Planet relief ship, and this is the United Earth space cruiser What did it say? I just read it. Um, C-57 Delta, or D, uh, coming to Altair 4 and they've been locked up in hyperspace for a year, I think they said. Now they're coming to Altair 4 because there was a lost mission on this planet years before. Whoop 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 whoop, and it goes into details from all. Don't need to go into it, and showing all the neat things on this ship and how it operated, and comes zooming out of hyperspace, coming to the planet. Woo, 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 woo. And we get to see it, and it's all talk. And then they contact the planet, see if there's anyone there, and they finally do get a response from Morbius, Dr. Morbius, and he warns them off, tells them not to land. He doesn't need any help or assistance, and he doesn't need. He said, "Well, we've got orders. We're going to." So they do. And here, great visual storytelling here of showing the ship coming in to land. Ooh, just like in the movie, with a great spread alien landscape, and they get off the ship and do all their regular things they need to do to set up their camp operations, and then they see there's something off in the distance, a rooster tail, something in the distance. I don't know if you can make it out there, the dust, and then here's them come zooming up, and they are greeted by Robbie. Greetings, gentlemen. I am monitored to respond to the name Robbie. There's Robbie's so cool. And he invites them to Morbius's estate for lunch, and then zoom and this thing back. And they're all curious about Morbius, about the planet, about Robbie himself. And here they meet Morbius and said, "Oh, I tinkered him together years ago." This is just tinkering him, yeah. And he tells about the strange force that killed everybody but himself and his wife on this planet. How he built this house. First of all, he built Robbie, and Robbie helped him build the house. But they're saying, well, this is beyond anything, the technology of anything of Earth for this robot. And you're a philologist. You're a language specialist. How did you manage to build this robot? Well, and he talks about robot, how he can make stuff, and how strong he is, and how he is incapable of harming people, because he gives that demonstration with the blaster gun, and how he can zap something, and then he can't zap the Commander J.J. Adams. Ooh, it goes bzz, 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 it'll short out. And then it shows also about the defense system he had installed, which apparently he's actually never needed, because after the death of the rest of his crewmates, the thing, whatever it was, the unseen force, has never returned. And so here he is, get more of the spread here of the alien landscape, and it talks about how he and his wife had lived there until his wife died some years before. And it's just mostly dialogue. As you can see, there's a lot of dialogue. Well, there was in the movie. And then we come the last page. We finally are introduced to Morbius's daughter, Altera, named for the planet, the star Altair. And they are on planet Altair 4. And that is the end. That is the end of this first issue. And that's all that I've got. Ooh. And it was lovely reading. If you've never seen the movie, I don't know how you couldn't, but if you've never seen the movie, if you're a science fiction fan, it is a must. It still holds up today, almost 70 years later. So, including Robbie. So, that is what I had to share with you this time around. I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below. Tell me how much you love Forbidden Planet. Do you know if it's ever been reprinted in an album? Again, let me know. I have no idea. I've never seen it, and I almost and I have none, and I don't ever see the comic book. I could probably find it on on Amazon or eBay or something, but I'm not going to go hunting for it. But if I find it and it's not too expensive, I will get them. So, again, thank you for joining me. Let me know what you think of this comic book, some of this great art, all that stuff. And remember, comics are art.